as you can see, we're moving past it right now, as you move into mini room, go upstairs, and circumvent all the way around the point. Usually as the defending team, you kind of want to catch them as they move out of that window, but it provides a lot of time, and specifically that time is important because it gives you that extra moment to catch up on your cooldowns.
Now they're just going to hold at the gate as expected. Pretty standard for Hanamura. Nothing untoward so far. It's going to move in already. Gustav just getting a cheeky little wall ride in. And Chubbs obviously going to move around there and block the entrance. Doesn't want to let anything happen. Mal's just going to run straight behind him. They're going to move off to the side. They try to go for an isolation. Molf will get back there with a sliver of HP as well. They don't get the D-mech for that move, but now they're giving up the high ground over the Shoes Money crew and giving them time to breathe and reset themselves to move on to the points.
This is a really good place for Shoes Money crew to just pepper OnePoint with damage, because they can't really take them off this high ground unless you send Tech 36 up there. So they're just going to push onto the point right now whilst poking them down.
JK Low's already been poked down by Yikid. Slur then goes in, finds a cheeky little left and a right click onto Scalar. But Shoes Money crew know they're going to have to back off now, get a little bit more time as reinforcements will come in. Yikid's 80% towards that Graviton Surge as well. He's burning through these today. That
should be the saving grace, though, because, sure, it's going to be a long time for Scalar to get back, and he's going to be caught off guard as he makes his way through the spawn point. OnePoint, they want to make their way onto the point right now and use this grab to their benefit.
Did Shoes Money crew condition OnePoint to take that position?
Like, now you
and then they just walk onto the point. It's like, oh, yeah, kids, gonna have that grab beaten. First one of the series from Molf, but he's gonna need to do a lot more to keep up with Tech 36 as this series goes on. Shatter being committed down, counter Shatter comes off to the side. We'll answer 1-to-1, but Mouse takes out Eng, and they haven't even been able to complete this point here at 99.7%. OnePoint is still holding on, and the Transcendence comes out a little bit too late to save Chubbs from a charge of JK Low. Tech 36 sitting on that self-destruct. If they want to push the emergency button, that might be it. He's pushing away. Scalar will find Slur and JK Lol, but they're still not on the point. The only thing that OnePoint are going to achieve from this one is just burning through that time bank. 6 minutes 4 to capture point B.
Again, we have some nice held onto ultimates here, so we're going to have that Grav Bomb, which is really important, especially coming to point B, which is so much of a snowballable point, because you can just run in here, remove high ground from OnePoint, and then just snowball this one with your ultimates that you hold onto from point A, which is quite a lot. They have the grab, they've got the rally, and the bomb, as well as a lot more coming up here, so it's going to be a long fight for OnePoint if they do want to take this one.
Well, Mal's holding on to that Graviton Surge. He's just enabled actually Yiggins to get one off first, despite having one eaten already this series. Opening will find two, and they've answered on back on the side of OnePoint, and they're going to kill the momentum going in from point A. But as I was mentioning, Yiggins has gone 2 for 1 on grabs against Mouse, because even though he got one eaten, he was able to get it back just as fast as Mouse could get one on the board.
Yeah, so he's in a good position now, right? And it's a cheeky move from Tech 36. He flies him into the air, feigns the Diva Bomb, doesn't actually go for it, and knows that halfway up, look, well, we've already found Mouse here. The major damage dealer is removed from Shoes Money crew. I can hold onto this Diva Bomb for the next push. But both teams will be mirroring those shatters, and it's been of equal success, so it's really hard to tell where this fight is going to be going, Tridd.
Well, they're going to go across that pathway instead of meeting them up on the high ground, and just going to drop down first, as expected. Shatter goes into no one, but Slur's still going to create that Transcendence. JK Lol drops a Shatter of his own. It's been mirrored, but they have to retreat around. JK Lol will still be found out by Tech 36's bomb. Spawn advance is definitely going to play in favor of OnePoint, so this isn't Shoes Money crew time. They're going to have to come back, try again later.
It's not Shoes Money crew time at all, no. And it seems that OnePoint have a pretty good read on what they want to do at the moment. And the Shoes Money crew, they're forced to back off. They're going to hold on to that Diva Bomb as well as the grab, so they have that big combo, the Wombo combo, coming to this next point. OnePoint on the other hand, 70% towards their own grab. Again, Yikid's been a monster here, and it looks like Tech 36 is our resident Mei player.
Apparently so, but he can't eat a grab if he's playing Mei, so I'm not sure you'll want him on this one, but there's a lot of other things he can do with that kit.
Now they're going to try and move under or feign which way they're going.
Do they know this May is coming yet? They must have like pressed tab and just figured it out.
Tab is the ultimate key in the game.
Well, they're looking to find a wall, won't get the isolation, it's just going to stall them even longer. And you immediately see Gustav, he wants a piece of that as he's running up there to try and disrupt Tech36's plans. Wall's just come back off cooldown, but he's more about dealing damage with the right click. Sound barrier coming in, being answered by Shoes Money Crew. Mal's being frozen up, can't find that second right click as Molf gets the double off the back of a Graviton Surge, but it's not enough clearance. They need to be taking more of 1 point out as Molf then moves on to Tech36. He can't hide behind the wall from someone who can just fly over it, but they're giving away progress over to SMC. Firing that Flame Strike up to the high ground. Jiggins is still there, but reinforcements are coming in from 1 point. Surely, but slowly. Shatter available for JK Low. Wants to find the right time to deny anyone moving on to the point. Gonna get frozen up. Tech dodges the Earth Shatter. Nearly gets the complete freeze in, but will be able to get the Ice Block instead as he throws up the wall to buy even more time. Scaler comes round to the side. Transcendence comes out. They're burning so much of 1 point of Shoes Money Crew's time.
And it's all just because Jiggins is here on the high ground, just throwing down the right clicks. He's going to have to drop down eventually to stall out this point, but Polly moving on to it now. They still have a shatter. He doesn't touch. That's unfortunate, but it was still a sizable amount of the time bank that they burned down, despite being in such a tough situation.
They burned through a good 4 minutes of it, if I recall correctly. Yeah, pretty much 4 minutes.
2 minutes 31 is a very respectable time for 1 point there to hold on to. Shoes Money Crew, they were looking at snowballing that one, getting something more akin to 5 minutes, which gives you a lot of options next time you go in. But now 1 point, if they can match or potentially higher here with a great push onto point A, followed through into point B, they could be sitting pretty, absolutely.
Oh, definitely, as they move into Shoes Money Crew's defensive round. And of course, that means 1 point are going to go on the attack. And they know the benchmark. 2 minutes 31, complete with more than that. And surely, on paper, you have the advantage. But they need to make sure that point B is a slightly more decisive than SMC's attempt. It was point A that was really the better of the two halves, as it usually is when it comes around to assault maps.
Yes. Now, my major concern here is that JK LOL is on the Winston right now, which it kind of insinuates that they think that 1 point will be coming out on DPS. So I don't know if they played them versus this in scrims, where they maybe play some DPS composition. And Gustav setting himself up in this great position here, where Chinese Contenders players use this all the time to deny their rotation through mini to stairs to high ground.
If they did play them in scrims, it would have been a couple of weeks ago, and the roster would have been very different. These are two very mobile teams with the rosters they field. So I don't know if they miscalculate here, as at 1 point I'm moving out with what definitely doesn't look like a DPS composition.
Yeah, and Winston just does not do that much damage to Ryan because he has so much armor, and that Tesla cannon currently doesn't do a lot of damage to it.
But it does now.
Patch, yeah.
Which is obviously the patch that will actually be played for playoffs immediately, or the first half of playoffs when it comes around to the end of the regular season. But let's focus on this patch for now, as Molf is going to be eroded away with that Discord Orb. And you're going to have Tech36 fly around on the top, and Chubbs is going to take control of the point as Eng takes out Gustav. And he's just going to hold that line, and you're right, JK Law is really struggling to find footing in here. Goes in with the barrier nice and early. Mouse will find Scaler, but now there's no barrier to keep him alive. Tech is just going to burn through them. This is a 1 point take, and it's going to be looking just as clean as SMC's.
A rally comes out as well, as it's mirrored. But really, Shoes Money Crew are going to find no favor out of this rally. They won't hold on to the rally.
They really want to go with this. They're buying time, I think, for Mouse to get that grab out, but he just died very recently. I'm not sure he's going to be able to get back there in time. A huge overcommitment from SMC. Now they're only using a grab to make point B work.
This is the freest point B that we will ever see in a long time.
They're just giving them away,
They just gave it to him. It was on the desk, and they just slid it over and said, "Here, take it."
It's unbelievable, but they're going to move in and they're going to grab nice and early, hopefully buy some more time to get set up, and a damage coming out from Molf, it's not going to mean anything. Nice move there, will buy even more time, as Jiggins will have to reposition. He can't stay there by himself, as the rest of the team wrap round to the point. They've got the grab, self-destruct, and Scaler has that Transcendence. They find JK Law moving in for two. They're being burned before the bomb even gets there, and they won't need to find anyone, so everyone else hides around the train trying to stall out, but they've now got a nice foothold on the point. They need to keep it before the respawns come come in.
Aang on the high ground, waiting to stall out this point, but Tech36 waiting patiently up there for him. Morph touches the point with the bomb.
That could be big with the self-destruct to stall out time. Protected barrier will stop that from happening. JK Low still finds the kill with the fire strike. That very patient and measured response from SMC has done it and deflected 1 point attack.
Yeah, Mouse, however, though, he has to give up a lot of that ult charge, a lot of that charge on Zari to make the switch over to the Bastion. Then those emergency hours for them. 1 point coming this one with a rally and a shatter, so they can make this one last. Big problem is they don't have any supportive ultimates, whereas Shoes Money Crew, during that long fight for them, they have picked up a couple of their own. Specific, well, they've got 3 on the board. It's all support right now. Medics to the rescue.
You have to make sure that they are going to keep their members alive. 5 minutes, 15 remaining. They're going to immediately emerge out onto the high ground. The shatter denied by the reposition as Chubb whiffs it into the corner. Obling will find Polly in the chaos, and this is another lost or wasted attempt from 1 point. The only resource committed was an Earth Shatter. They're just going to be cleaned up, and SMC barely had to use anything to make that work.
Yeah, SMC just using the budget transcendence, using that rally there to keep themselves in it for a little bit longer. Yiki's coming from the grab, and that's primarily going to be used just to remove maybe the sound barrier or the trank if they're very lucky coming into this next one. 1 point scaler, transcendence coming up for him, but Aang not really too near that sound barrier as of yet. Shoes Money Crew have done a very good job, like you say, to gain a foothold and just really shove that foot into it.
Looking for Yikid's grab here. This could be the answer for 1 point.
Wonderful displacement towards
it. Chubbs is now going to be in trouble here as he drops down. Transcendence coming down nice and early. Chubbs also getting a lot of focus. Shatter off to the side. I think it only knocks down Yikids, but he's got the Graviton Surge. Charge, JK Low, isolated in the corner. Mouse will find Scalar while that goes on. Yikids then takes him out. They've got no shield. They need to be able to push this team together. Shatter comes down. It's unprotected. They lost their Reinhardt. There's a sound barrier. The self-destruct on top of the grab, and Mouse will go down, or Yikids will go down to Mouse's laser. He wouldn't have got down. I think he got there in time to protect him from the self-destruct, but the reinforcements come in. Blank, you called it as a one fight. I think SMC, they had other ideas.
SMC have come back time and time again and held on to this one. 1 point seemed a little bit impatient, but now, next fight, they're going to be coming into this one with the grab and the bomb. I think Scalar made the switch over to Soldier for a minute there, try and get back to the point. So 1 point, yeah, they definitely thought they won it.
Well, yeah. I mean, it got to 94.7%, so it's very close to being a one fight.
But now what was a 5-minute time bank is crumbled away. And is now very much similar to what Shoes Money Crew got on their first push.
Silver lining, they got 2 checkpoints on the progress, so they don't have very far to go in terms of completing it. Attention play to Tech, to JK Lol. Mal's actually being solo grabbed in there, but the rest of the team's going to fold into it to keep together. Safety in numbers, and Tech is going to abuse that fact to find 2. Mal's and JK Lol, the solid tank line from SMC have gone down. They need to push them further away. Don't let them touch the point. That's the name of the game. Reinforcements being cleared out. They're going to force some mistakes here from Shoes Money Crew as Mal's manages to come back out on the wrecking ball and get back to the point, but Polly is swinging that flail around. Mal's got Discord Orb on him, need to push him even further away. He can't get back in time. They tried to get Slur with the Doom Fist, but that was enough from 1 point to get the completion. I'll have to double check the time back when it comes round to the screen.
I think it was actually the same. I could be wrong though. I think it was literally 2 minutes 31.
It's unlikely it's 2:31.
No, it's 2 minutes 40. That actually fight was set up there. It looked like JK Lol had made a decent shatter, but I think he was displaced just the last second. Didn't get the target he was looking for. But Polly, on 1 point, managed to make a wonderful shield mash over onto JK Lol there to remove the shield, make sure that the big bomb from Tech 36 went through. And then it was just a matter of time until the point went over to 1 point. 2 minutes 40, only 9 seconds extra than Shoes Money Crew. So again, cutting it fine with both these teams. This will mean that you at least get maybe 2 or 3 pushes onto point A. But point A is one of those points where it's almost impossible not to take it, barring some huge errors, because you have time to switch up your composition, maybe go for some DPS if it's really not working for free. I don't think that you ever don't take point A.
Yeah. Well, Chubbs has learnt from JK Lol. Wait, I've got mixed up here. Who played Winston instead of the
JK Lol?
JK Lol. Oh, sorry, I got mistaken there. I thought it was Chubbs who did it. I was like, well, he's learned from his mistakes, but he never made it in the first place. Sorry, bud. Didn't mean to call you out for that.
Evil Tridd over here, just trying to blame mistakes on somebody else.
Someone has to take blame.
Someone has to.
And it's not me. And it's SMC going to be on the offense here. As expected, they have the lesser time banks as they move into point A, and Blank seems to think that it's really hard to not take point A with the choice and freedom given to you. So 1Point, you have to pull out an extra special defense here to make that work as they're pushed around to the side, forced to and away from the point as Tech36 finds Obling nice and early. There's plenty of time still to burn through and plenty of time to defend. They've conceded the entrance to the courtyard, but no more.
So now realistically, only 2 more pushes remaining for Shoes Money Crew. The next one doesn't work, things start to get real difficult for them because they just won't have the ultimate charge available to them to take the next fight, which is really what the next fight is all about, is getting your ultimates ready and available to go. But by now, at 1Point, they've already amassed a significant amount towards their own. So again, this next fight is going to define everything for Shoes Money Crew. And if they can't make some good picks, make sure they're coming back from spawn for quite a while, 1Point could be in a great position.
They burn 1 minute of the time bank already. They're going to push in, and they're trying to block that path. Miles has nowhere to retreat to because he had to go through Tech36, and will go down low, but he did get all the resources he needed to stay up nice and healthy. So this is reminiscent of the point A offense from SMC. They take this high ground away from 1Point, and they look to try and then push back in when they've got all their resources back online.
Scalar and Slur doing a really good job during this entire match to get the Transcendence sub, but Morphic takes down Scalar, no Trank available.
Yeah, they're going to get the sound barrier online, and he's going to find that with the Shatter, but guess what? Chubbs doesn't miss his. Will knock down by a little bit more time for 1Point to react. They throw it on the rally and the sound barrier. Scalar is hot-tailing it from spawn, but he needs to not worry and drive safe because 1Point saying there's no rush. We got this, pal.
Yeah, Morphic coming towards his bomb. Scalar has to get back pretty quickly. You almost know that Aang is off screen right now, taxi him all the way back. They know they need that Transcendence. Mouse has definitely got his Graviton right now. This fight means it all. If they don't take it here, then that's it. Fight is over for Shoes Money Crew.
Fight is over. It does open up a window of opportunity for 1Point to then walk away with this map and take a lead in the series. Yakid's has got that Graviton Surge. Morph could come in for the consumption, but then again, Tech36 could do exactly the same if he gets himself into a favorable position. Where is he? He's off to the side. He's spamming out that DM. He does not want to let that grab come through from Mouse. He needs to find a clever way to do it. They're going to pull the trigger first. Slow has already found Scalar. There's no Transcendence to deal with the counter grab that comes out. Going to throw down the Shatter, but Mouse has already found 2. And the self-destruct on the point will buy enough time. SMC are still alive on their attempt. They're going to have to do point A in overtime and then get 30 seconds to run to point B.
Scalar got removed from that fight extremely early.
Too early.
Able to get out the Transcendence. And Shoes Money Crew, they pick up point A here, but in overtime, only 30 seconds to get to the next point. Would not be surprised if 1Point go for an aggressive push with this Transcendence, but they need to find a pick early here with that rally as well as it's a huge momentum tool.
They're looking for May to divide and conquer to make that pick happen as Tech36 goes for that flex again. They're going to go down from underneath, and they might want to try and isolate someone through that choke, but instead they're going to come up. Tech's going to hold that line there, wants to get it. So they pushed over, and they're trying to get themselves an isolated Reinhardt, but SMC react accordingly. They fold back into each other. They're not to be separated. Iceblock in the middle of the point, Transcendence there. Pollitt clears out Obling. They might have done enough there by clearing out the Brigitte, but they've not cleared off many other members. Shatter going to be thrown into the ground as the sound barrier comes out as well. Ultimates nowhere close from SMC, apart from a rally to keep this up, but Aang's already cleared out JK Lol, and the board is still ticking for 1Point as they're looking to freeze up, but the charge comes in from Slur, or from Chubbs to kill Slur. They're not going to be able to get anything else here, so 3 points to 2, no progress on point B.
There's still a win con for 1Point now. They just need to take point A and 33% of point B. It's definitely easier than having to take 2 points and going again.
They definitely do not want to go again.
No, they do not. They want to finish it right now, which is definitely counterintuitive to what we would usually see from players. They always want to go again, but
no, I'm pretty sure they'd rather take the win than.
Yeah, absolutely. We go again next map.
Okay.
1Point, however, I think the major thing there is Tech36 and Yikid's playing a really great angle on the side, and it's super irksome to play against Tech36 there because he's constantly freezing you up, preventing the rotations that Shoes Money Crew want to go for. And once again, JK Law comes out on this Winston. I really don't think that this is the play.
You're going to have a conversation with him afterwards, and or someone from SMC, and find out what the thought process is on this one.
Yeah, because To me, so really what it does well is it takes the high ground. And that is very difficult, especially on this point, for a GOATS composition to take themselves. They have to take the stairs, get up there, but JK Law can do a lot of disrupting and get that cleave damage through when the rotations come through and do a lot of work with that Primal Rage. Unfortunately, last defense, JK Law retreated straight to the point, which gave so much time for OnePoint to just whittle him down and put the pressure on.
Let's see if they buy into the trap of JK Law being able to get that free damage. Gustav is in that slot you so boldly pointed out on the previous attempt, looking to find a reposition and kill the quick and clean push. It's already been contested by Ang. He knew to look there for him, but they're still going to get the boop off, moving 3 members into an unfavorable position. Very low health bars for Scalar, who will ultimately go down to Molf. And now, but they're on the point and they're starting to build up progress. It needs to be contested. Looking for a way to do this, and JK Lowell's just going to hug the corner and spray through multiple members, get that cleave damage up. Chubbs goes for an aggressive charge, but Overwatch's going to shut it down. D-Mech going to kill onto Gustav, will come into play as well, but respawn advantage definitely in favor of OnePoint, so it's ultimately a net positive for them.
Yeah, absolutely. They can get back to this one pretty quickly. Mouse has to die, though, and Yikid's caught in the corner now.
He's not going to be able to get anything done, as he's just going to die, and everyone's going to retreat. It's OnePoint. Need to go again with 1 minute 35 remaining on the clock and a rally to their name.
Well, that's the Primal Rage removed from the equation. Anchoring with the sound barrier, Polly with the rally, and then the 2 tanks ultimates coming up for Yikids and Chubbs. So they have a lot of stuff coming into this next fight. Slur will be able to dissuade them with the Transcendence, and Shoes Money Crew, they've got that wombo combo coming online. Really, the major thing here for OnePoint is they need to get that grab out early.
Well, Ang's going to move around, make sure he can get his team there with the amp, and now take the position that Shoes Money Crew usually take. Wait for the cooldowns to come on. They move into the point. Immediately grabbed up. Shatter comes out, finds themselves obbling on the floor, but he gets back up, and Molf is going to take out Chubbs while he was grabbed. They need to fall back, not lose anything, not commit anything. Nice denial there to stop more of the cleave damage from JK Lowell, but they want to find more kills. They're trying to find Polly. Yikids is punished. JK Lowell, who will go down, and a counter grab comes out. They're going to throw the self-destruct on the top. This is it. They want to go for it. Nice boom moves him into position, but they're able to get behind the terrain, and now they're fighting to get back to the point and try and defend this one because they've all been separated. There's division and there's conquering coming out from OnePoint and punishing the over-aggression from SMC.
This wasn't it, Chief, one bit. Now, OnePoint are able to take this point pretty happily. They hold onto the Transcendence as well, which was that major win condition for them as they were defending last time. This could be big for them, but I've said that before and they didn't take it last time either.
Well, they're going to try and contest this one. They send JK Lowell in with a barrier, and they're going to commit the sound barrier as well. Nice shatter will disrupt the flow of people into the traffic. 75%. Mal's going to go down, lose that energy, lose that percentage towards his grab, but they do force out the overtime. So they're under the same conditions that were met last time. OnePoint still in a dominant hold. They've lost the shatter. They wanted to migrate to point B, but they still have that Transcendence.
Now there's no defensive ultimate available other than the rally, and like I said before, that's a budget Transcendence right there. That's not the full buy.
Always go premium when you're looking to get... When you're talking about your healing needs, you'd never cheapen out, as Mouse should surely find that one out. Push back into the spawn room. Here comes the Primal Rage from JK Lowell. He jumps into the middle. Self-destruct from Molf. Graviton Surge will lock him down. And he's going to beat Slur, taking out Chubb. Scalar then taking out Molf. But of course, we talk about respawn advantage a lot. Going over to the defenders here. Graviton Surge hides Polly. Needs to get his shield up, protect himself. Protective barrier will expunge some of that damage away as Scalar gets a kill onto Gustav. Molf's going to come back in. Kill feed's looking awfully green, but Yikid's looking to turn it back into their favor as Obling will then take out Tech 6. Again, they're going to get the hold in here, Blank. I don't think there's been enough to come up from OnePoint. It looks like our final map is going to have to decide it all.
They had all of the things in the pocket available to them to prevent that push from happening. But in the end, they're just not able to push it on through. And it comes to some great rotations, great positioning from the side of Shoes Money Crew. I think JK Lowell, it really paid off when he did play the Winston on the second point. He's able to position himself all over the place. There was actually a pretty excellent play as well as on point A that I noticed. I could be wrong, though. But it appeared to me that JK Lowell actually managed to put his shield down as OnePoint sound barriered. And because the shield was there, it split Chubbs off from the team, meaning he didn't actually get any of that sound barrier shielding, which meant he went down really quickly, which denied a lot of time for OnePoint, which could have been the time that they needed to take point B.
Hopefully some of the wizards in our production room could possibly go back and find that for us in the highlight package that will come after the series. We know now that it's going to end on Rialto after a draw, so one more map. Join us for that final conclusion after this short break. Hey everyone, thanks for staying with us. It's our final map of the day, and we know that for certain because the last one was a tie, so we've effectively turned our 4-map series into a best of 3, and Rialto is where we are going to end it all. Shoes Money Crew versus OnePoint, and a series that we expected to deliver. Who knew? Actually delivered.
Yeah, it's been a pretty damn good game. That's to say the very least about this one. Both teams playing very, very well. It's kind of weird, though, because as we come into this week, we see both these teams play against each other. We haven't seen them play against the... Now I want to see how they fare against the teams at the upper echelons of the standings, because from what I've seen so far, both teams playing really, really well. Like they're playing a good game of Overwatch. That's for sure, boys.
Well, you got to remember, OnePoint was a team that was able to take AT to Game 5.
Yes,
so
also with their coach subbed in.
Yes, and this was when we've had, well, come on, you didn't need to BMAT over it. What I'm saying is, it's a talent with their coach subbed in. No, it's a, you know, they've had a slightly mobile roster. In fact, both of these teams have seen mobility over the past couple of weeks, and they can solidify their rosters in the latter half after taking down or going up against some of the tougher opponents in the standings. Then they open themselves up to really make a comeback as we move closer to playoffs.
Yeah, it's kind of like the cement is starting to set in now for both these teams. And yeah, it's really nice to see. There seems to be some great synergy coming out from them. Personally loving the synergy between the Brigittas and the Reinhardts on both teams. Obling and JK Lowell seeming to play very well as a team, as is Polly and Chubbs, setting up those bash shadows a lot of the times and bash bombs. It's very nice to see a team like this who have, as you said, had a lot of mobility, kind of spring back like a bungee cord.
Yeah, let's hope if that cement does dry or gets closer to drying, we don't have the cat of roster moves leave a few paw prints in there and ruin it. It's right at the end. We're going to have Eng sing off to the side. He's going to go for the comp Q play, which is to speed boost himself in there and go for a boop. And we'll let this one play out.
Uh-oh. To be continued.
Yeah, it's a bit of a to be continued. They knew it was going to happen, so they just held back while he started his path because he knows they can't stop him moving. He'll just fall into the river if that happens. And they're going to walk this round slowly, playing in the cover, avoiding as much damage as they can. Polly got knocked back into that room by a rocket flail from Obling, so don't want to let him get anywhere close to this one. Slur by himself can need some reinforcements as they move around and start to amp up this fight a little bit further.
Yeah, that high ground defense giving a little bit of trouble, popularized by Philadelphia Fusion and also San Francisco Shock. Sinatra in particular, and it really provides you with a lot of options, especially getting Mouse up here as well. As it's difficult to deal with them, but they can get the drop on them like that.
Well, the drop happened in the form of him being dropped off the side. Nice little boot there will knock Mouse down, but the rest of Shoes Money Crew are going to walk through 1 point, and no resistance to be found once it started, apart from Scalar, who's obviously going to tag Slur a couple of times and take him out, but no hard loss there for Shoes Money Crew. There will be one more opportunity for a contestation from 1 point.
Yeah, and especially underneath the archway as well. As it's so tight as well as underneath here that it really opens it up for big shadows and big gravitons, which Mouse isn't really all that close to. And Zik is, who is subbed in instead of Chubbs. We saw him last season. He was amazing.
No, instead of Chubbs. No, no. He's going to throw that Graviton Surge in, and JK Lowell's got that Earth Shatter ready to go. Zik already finding Gustav, and a self-destruct follow-up onto JK Lowell and a D-Mech onto Molfig. So 1 point, able to make this work, finding the kills with the recent addition to the roster being played on Rialto.
Yeah, I didn't actually see this. Just checking in now. I know that he was a sub on the team. And one thing I can tell you about Zik, which is really does harken just back to that last fight where he was on 99% whilst Mel was on 50%, is in Season 3, he was touted by all the lovely casters we had back then as this extremely powerful charging Zarya, but he was a little bit over-aggressive at times.
Going to commit that Earth Shadow anyway to try and shut down the mobility from that grab that came in. Going to match it anyway, and going to see JK Lowell throw it in, only find Eng, and Chubbs has to reposition to make sure no further damage comes into his Lucio.
Spawns are close though.
He's going to pay him back in kind. Rally coming in from Polly. They have got the sound barrier for Eng. There's that self-destruct being thrown into the back. They're going to commit the sound barrier from Shoes Money Crew. It's obviously been matched out by Eng as well. Chubbs going down low. Needs to stay up here and help the rest of his team as Mouse are going to get that barrier in. They're going to commit the grab. Zix found it. Chubbs needs to start swinging. They're going to push it through, but the self-destruct dropped right on top of him. They're going to buy some more time. Throw down the shatter. Polly trying to survive. He's going to come in. Clutch Transcendence from Scalar to make that happen and keep his fellow support alive as they push back another SMC offensive and burn the time back down to a minute.
Zik plays very much like Hardest on the Samsung Morningstars, where he just charges up these grabs so incredibly fast, it's very difficult to deal with. And Scalar is another one of these players who gets transcendences like there is no tomorrow. Oh, it's a bumper shatter.
He's looking for something aggressive. They haven't looked. They're going to throw it in there. The bubble will protect the Reinhardt, but it won't protect the Zarya as they're going to go for something super aggressive here from 1 point. They're going to commit the grab afterwards to punish that aggression. Mal's swinging through. They're finding multiple kills. So, unlike Bumper, they are actually going to lose this point.
Yeah, and that comes down to the fact that there's no supportive ultimates available for OnePoint there, so they can't really sustain the engage that comes out of it. So they will just lose point A right now, but with 15 seconds remaining.
Contesting it. I don't think they want to give it up yet. Zik went for a Hail Mary grab as well to hold them together.
Okay.
Shatter's not going to find anyone. Sound barrier as well. OnePoint are going for this. They don't want to give it up.
Scaler does, trans.
And this could be absolutely lethal if they mess this one up, and they're going to throw in the sound barrier from Gustav as well.
Shatter.
Hang on a minute. They did the 180 flip with that one as Polly finds Gustav. They're going to pop that rally. He got the sound barrier out. Self-destruct from Molv, looking to find someone. Will break the shield of Chubbs, but not much else, as they're still contesting the point, and they have spawn advantage. They might have done enough here. Grab coming in from Mouse, pulls them together. Zik going for that third grab as he's going to throw one out, but he's cut through JK Low, and he's going to burn through as he commits the grab to the ground. OnePoint have done enough. They went Zicko mode as they're going to stop the offense shy of point A.
Zik is monstrous. Absolutely monstrous. You find this guy underneath your bed, in your closets. He's the thing that makes the bump in the night.
And how does Scaler repay his teammate for putting it on the back? A flying Zenyatta kick to the back of the head in the post screen.
It's just mean.
Ungrateful.
Ungrateful. Just you need to be.
Actually, no. There's one person on the team who could do that. It's Scaler. He was able to build up transcendences incredibly fast, almost as fast as Zik was building grabs, and huge factor in making that. Should we say that? Gamble pay off.
Yeah, and it's like I said, it's so tight underneath that archway that if Zik is getting those grabs over and over again, you have to contest that payload, so you've got to move forward. He drops down the grab, everyone's pulled in. Scaler's just got this huge amount of sustain coming out every single second. It seems that Yikids, he's great. His projected barriers are great. The way he plays is awesome for this team when they are on these more maps where it requires a reserve Zarya. But on Rialto here, where they're looking for that early hold, it seems like Zik has come up huge on this Zarya, and he's just been chomping at the bit to play.
And there's also kind of like a mental switch that happens with a team. Like, it's not necessarily about the individual skill of a player. It's more about sometimes just having a change. Someone to come in and basically go, right, guys, pick this back up. Final map. Let's get into it. This is ours. And
it means a lot as well, this game.
Absolutely. It's going to get them back on the map. With this is one of these hotly contested matches in the lower end of the standings that can make the difference come round to week 7 when final positions are being decided. And Zik certainly paid off here when he came onto this map, and it puts him in a good position to walk away with the series win.
Yeah, Rialto is often touted as this map, which is perfect for Zarya because there are so many of these close corridors where grab is so hugely important to have at all times. Now the close hold is coming out here. Buy a little time for Shoes Money Crew, which it is going to do.
Yeah, they killed Chubbs, and Zik was not too far behind him, and they're going to be able to use this aggressive hold and really put it to good effect, which we haven't seen happen a lot. We've seen it attempted a lot, but it's not actually successfully done.
It's very reminiscent of Selfless Gaming when they used to do this way back in the day, where they just hold you in spawn.
We're in Europe, and Eagle Gaming does this a lot. I'd appreciate you using a European team to represent this.
They were the first, okay, come on.
Well, anyway, JK Lol, not the first, but looking to actually abuse the tactic still. He's got that Earth Shadow online, and he's going to be eroded away. So they built up some nice ult charge here.
They're still holding.
I don't know if they want to commit this one. They're going to put it through the payload. It's nice. It will get the Transcendence and the rally out from OnePoint. They need to try and get more. They're going to get the grab from Miles out as well. And they're going to boop him around. Molv's going to eat Zik's grab, so that's unfortunate for them as they're going to be able to maintain control. We thought that the benchmark of point A was easy to cap, but they can't even get over the bridge. They're going to have some difficulty doing that.
We've got to suggest right now that you pull out the Bastion, you do a Hurricane play here to really dissuade teams from holding this close. Unfortunately, Tech36, who would be a Bastion player in this situation, has a bomb available.
Yes, it's going to be a bit of a problem for them. Tech36.
2 minutes 28.
They need to get away out of this spawn room, and I do not advocate for Bastion. I cannot stress this enough. I don't advocate for Bastion, but now is a time to play Bastion. Gonna throw that shadow down, Polly, Zik. Oh, hang on a minute. How did Chubbs get over there? He just walked in, follows up with the charge onto Miles. They need to break this chokehold. 2 minutes remaining, self-destruct. It's going to be blocked out quite nicely. They're trying to get the payload in motion. Control is starting to be wrestled away from SMC. As Molv, they're going to find something. Molv makes up the grab. Zik is not allowed to play Overwatch today. 1 minute 50 remaining, and they haven't even got over the bridge yet, but they're starting to break them away. We'll get the D-Mech onto Molv and start killing off SMC.
Incredible scenes.
They set it up nicely for a victory here, but at one point they ran into SMC's diabolical plan of the full hold, and it's gone a little bit Pete's on for them.
It has. I think the major thing to look at though there is an excellent boop coming out from Gustav to move Chubbs out of position, open up a shatter for JK Lol, and Chubbs just turns it completely around. It's like, you put me here, now I'm going to shatter you.
Yeah, he's going to make the best of a bad situation. Well, that sound barrier tech finally eating a grab of Mouses this round, wondering when he was going to start chomping away at this all-you-can-eat buffet. And JK Law's going to commit that shatter through the payload. Barrier. The barrier's going to keep everyone up. JK Law pushing into the corner, will fall back with the rest of his team. That's a high-energy Zik looking for a kill. Sound barrier then comes out from Shoes Money Crew as they re-engage onto the fight. Grab, going to be put down onto the floor. Can't eat that one as Tech takes out Gustav. Open going to fall down as well from Polly. And they got a D-Mech as well. Tech36 going to clear through JK Law. They're pushing on to the final stretch of point A and potentially picking up a series win.
Scalar is just a Zen master in the mountains right now. I swear he's always in Transcendence. This guy is basically a god at this point. 30
seconds remaining. Eng trying to push them away. They've got plenty of time to, well, not plenty of time to work with. The exact opposite of that. 64.36 meters away is Chubbs going to take out JK Lowell. More self-destruct finds Chubbs on the back end of that, so they bought themselves time at 15 seconds remaining. This is the final engagement. They can't be meandering around. They can't be messing around with this one. Sick, build that energy. You got a D-Mech. Move towards the Graviton Surge and seal the deal for 1 point if you can just find it. There's an aggressive trans from Slur. Everything's opening up for him. Burn through them with that high energy, and the rest of your team, they push them in the corner, they push them away from the point. The sound barrier is going to come out and hopefully deflect any of the damage. 1 point, walk away with the win on Rialto.
Zik had a comical amount of grabs in that game. Tui, and I still think he lapped Mouse in the amount of grabs that he was able to throw out there.
He lapped Mouse, he had a comical amount of grabs, but he also had a comical amount of grabs eaten. He wasn't allowed to play Overwatch for the first 2 grab cycles.
Bloody hell, Zik is... I've forgotten how monstrous Zik is. I remember tweeting about him back in Season 3 and being like, wow, this guy's crazy. And now he's back doing the exact same thing. Whoa. But excellent win. Going over to 1 point. Shoes Money Crew, it just wasn't their day today. Really, really wonderful hold there on the beginning from Shoes Money Crew. It's incredible they were able to stay there for so long. But in the end, 1 point, they persevere and push it through.
Some highlights from Hanamura. Scoreline obviously being 2-1. We did have the tie on this map. They both completed first rounds, but then it was some successful holds on point A, forcing overtime point B attempts that neither team could quite master or muster up the strength to do so.
Yes. It was tough for both teams here. I think it's a testament to both of the 6-man rosters for both these teams that they had such incredible play to stop those final pushes each and every time. Yeah. You know what I really wish we had? It's just like just a B-roll of just Zik throwing in grabs this map. We've seen like a ton.
Yeah, hopefully.
There's the shadow.
But yeah, he got booped around. Like I said, he turned a bad situation on its head and made it advantageous for him, turning the frown upside down, shall we say.
Yeah.
As,
happy face.
This is the winning moment here as they're able to push back the rest of Shoes Money Crew in overtime to win at point A. And that was really off the back of a solid defensive round from them to hold them. And like I said, it was a massive gamble to commit that many ults on their own defense in the previous attempt to make that happen, but it ultimately paid off for them.
I'm so excited to see these teams play more in the future. It's an exciting game for me. Seeing these two teams who are relatively towards the bottom of the standings right now play such a high level of Overwatch. It's a testament to the staff. It's a testament to the players, and hopefully they can keep it up as they go against even harder teams as we move through the season.
I believe we've also just effectively hit the halfway mark, I believe, on the season as well. So just kind of. So there's still a distance to go, and the standings can still change. You see the top liars starting to run away with this a little bit here. You got 4 zeros and 3 zeros coming out for some teams, which does make it difficult to catch. But of course, 6 teams out of the 8 are going to the playoffs. Only 2 will drop down into trials. But of course, more on the playoffs function, because I think we can start talking about it now. Number 1 and number 2 seeds will get a bye into the semi-finals to make that 6-man playoff happen. So really, the difference maker, I think, for a lot of these top teams is who is going to drop into the second and who's going to drop into the third place, because there's a couple of undefeated teams in the standings right now.
Yeah, there is a lot of really good teams in this region at the moment. Like before, you usually have two of the top teams playing like right at the top, and they play on a different level. This season round is relatively close, and I think anything can happen coming into playoffs right now, which is the most fun part about it.
Well, we got an interview for you with our winning team. Let's have a look and see who we've got on the roulette wheel. We never know who we're going to find sometimes. Let's have a look. Here you go, Colsty, coming in to join us. How you doing, my man?
Yeah, I'm really happy right now.
I bet you are. That was an insane win.
Yeah, a bit too close for our liking, but it's a win, so we gotta take it.
Yeah, what was the decision to sub Zik in for the final map, first of all? Because he had a fantastic map for Rialto there.
I wanted to play the mental game, and like people know that we're strong with Zik, so I had him in the back pocket and put him on the last map where we needed to clutch.
It was a massive clutch from him, putting him in there. Sure, he got a couple of grabs eaten, but the rate at which this guy charges grabs doesn't really matter.
That's less of a question, more of a statement.
Honestly, it's a statement to Colsey's coaching style. I mean, he's done a great job.
No,
I mean,
he's just very talented. He's just very talented. Like I helped him, but he's just very skilled. Zik.
You molded him. You molded some raw energy into something that a little bit.
He's so humble.
He's very humble with his accomplishments.
No. I wouldn't take all like the glory from the players. Like they worked hard. They proved today, like, I'm happy. I'm really happy. Like, finally, the thing we all worked together on, we managed to accomplish it.
Yeah, you managed to accomplish a lot with the team so far, especially under the circumstances. I mean, even playing yourself at some times. I got one final question for you, because I was a little bit, not confused, but not entirely sold on it. The Tech36 May on Hanamura. This guy, very talented diva, didn't get the full potential out of the May, I felt. Was that something you shared? Did you have greater ambitions for that?
It went way better in scripts, actually. As it always does. Like, May, Tech is a really flexible player. So cool. We trusted in his May. It went well. We tried. We failed. It happens. We can fix that.
GG, go next. Well, you had a fantastic game, Colsty. Thanks so much for joining us, and good luck with the rest of your games this season.
See you later.
See you.
Hey, we got Colsty. That was good to hear.
It was, yeah.
You're throwing statements at him rather than questions.
Mate, that play from Zik has just fried my... It's just boggled my mind, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, he's a very humble lad. It's nice to see. I mean, he's been grinding this guy since way back in the day. I remember first casting him on Wind and Rain, and then he's moved over to the coach role now. Had to jump back in the other week to play main tank for his team whilst they were looking for a replacement. So if there's anyone that can lead a team to victory here, it's Colsty. He's got a massive amount of experience that he's definitely shown today in their game versus Shoes Money.